Hi guys, welcome back to another week of chart reviews. Let's start. So first chart is MYCRON. This is MYCRON support. As I mentioned before, 0.36. The volume is not as high as previously. So for me, I believe most people that entered here, maybe about 20-30% actually already came out. Okay, and then you can see it pulled back until here, which is the previous breakout point. So since then the volume has been not so high lah. Okay, every time there's one green candle, it kind of drops after. You will need to see whether it breaks out or not lah. Okay, at the moment if you look at the trend line, it's actually forming lower highs, but it has not really formed a lower low. So that forms kind of a triangle over here. Okay, and if it's able to break out from this downtrend line, then most likely you will see a continuation in uptrend lah. If not, then I think it's going to be sideways again, like it usually is lah. Okay. Next, Engtex. I think Engtex is much better than MYCRON. If I'm not wrong, both of them actually deal with metal still. Okay. Engtex chart is a bit it ran up quite a lot lah from this part. Okay. Yeah, about 13%, and since then has been pulling back lah. Okay. This was actually an attempted breakout, but it failed, so you can see that it pulled back down. The volume is quite good lah. Okay, the pullback days volume is actually pretty low considerably, so I believe it will form a base here before it actually attempts to break out again lah. Okay, but these two candles pullback is okay lah, about 6%, quite long lah, the wick below. Okay, if you have two long wicks and during a basing, it's actually not that good lah. Okay, it should be quiet lah, and the volume should be low. Okay, next is ZELAN. I think I'll skip this chart. I don't think there's much to comment here. Okay, because volume isn't really present all the time, and as you see, every time it breaks out, it seems like it's just gonna come back down. Okay, this one looks like managed to break out, but then you see it never closed above it. Okay, that means it's not good lah. Okay, BTM, I will skip this chart as well. I don't think there's much to review here. I don't think there's any volume. I don't think there's any play here lah. It's just totally sideways. Okay, UCREST. This drop over here is a bit scary. Okay, accompanied by pretty high volume. Next day is not so high volume, but it formed kind of a hammer, and then subsequently, currently it's like, you know, slowly climbing up back lah. In my opinion, I don't think there's any play here at the moment. Okay, because if you took this bottom to here, wait I think it's a bit hard to chart TA on this barcode kind of counter, but this drop is just scary lah. Okay, because this is the base. Okay, then it form again at this level. Okay, so this is kind of like a base, good base lah. Okay, and then it broke down from this level, but it broke down by about 1 bit. So I consider this one as a washout candle, and it's trying to build another base here. And then it managed to break out. I mean, go higher, but then it nosedived here. Okay, I think the chart is a bit unfavorable lah. Okay, in my opinion. Okay. SCGBHD, like I mentioned before, I don't think there's much to see here. It broke out, then came back down about this area. Currently at 50 days moving average, you need to give time for the stock to see where it is going to hit to next. Okay, so you see here higher lows lah along the way. Okay, Day3, I truly wonder when it wants to really break out lah. Okay, I think this stock from IPO hasn't really seen up days except this one rally, which I highlighted here as well. I had it as a case study last year. I actually had it as a case study about here, I think. Okay, then it went up. So this was a scary candle lah. Okay, when you have a candle with very high selling volume, usually it doesn't mean good lah. Okay, so you can see this one candle, you imagine the up candle is this much but the selling candle is this high. It's not something good to have lah. Okay, and day 3 really has this pattern lah. Okay, one day high volume, the next day higher volume of selling, so that's a bit anomaly lah. Okay, CPETECH, new stock. Not much of TA can be done. Let's switch over to the 1 hour and see. Okay, based on the 1 hour, can see it's attempting to break out lah. Okay, about here. About this area lah. Okay, this zone, if it breaks, then it will be like a cup breakout pattern lah. Okay. Next, Harta. I actually reviewed the list of stocks in Bursa. I think GOCEAN looks like breaking out first. Harta, I think it's completing its basing over here, the basing of about this level. Okay, this should be the support level lah, 2.71. Looks like a new support level, and it seems to be breaking out from this small range. Volume has been relatively low over here. Of course, not the lowest that I would have hoped for, but it's relatively lower than 10-day average lah. Okay, yep. So I think it's attempting to break out soon. Okay, Ulicorp, I think this order over here is a bit scary. Okay, it sold down to about 1.47 and now it's slowly climbing up. But what I don't like is these candles. This shows that it actually went up to about 1.54 and got sold down back to about 1.49, which is not something that I would like to see lah. Okay. The other thing that I don't like about the chart is this is one low and then this is a lower low. Okay, so it makes your chart look something like this and this. Okay, so for me it's indecision level lah. Okay, so you will need to wait and see where Ulicorp moves. I think the Fibonacci should be somewhere here. Yep, this one looks pretty accurate. Okay. Yeah. Next is AHB. I think I'll skip AHB. I don't think there's anything to comment for AHB. Yeah. NYLEX is a bit hard because I think NYLEX was one of the counters where it was included for something about the listing or stuff like that, which caused it to fall here. Okay, so yeah, that's NYLEX. I'm really not sure whether the prospect of NYLEX is back to normal or is it still bad lah. Okay, you will have to see. But chart wise, I don't think it's very good to have candles like this. This may seem like a very strong candle for you, but I think for me it's a sign of selling lah. Okay, JHM, it doesn't look good. Okay, it came up nice pattern over here, then broke down. This candle with high volume red big bar, I don't think it looks good for JHM lah. Okay, obviously your support will be somewhere here, 0.69, and I see it's kind of forming a quick double bottom at about 695 lah. Okay, but it's the chart is not good lah. It's definitely not good. You look at where it has come from and come to. It's about 264 and now it's here. And here we thought it's going to actually finally form higher lows, and then it decided to go against lah. Okay, so I think JHM doesn't look good yet. SUNVIEW, SUNVIEW is definitely still in a downtrend. Okay, here it attempted to break out from the downtrend. For me, I think it managed to, because here was one of the highs but it couldn't sustain it lah, okay. And then followed by heavy sell downs the next few days. So I think you have to monitor and see whether is this considered as a new base or not. You need to give the stock some time lah, okay. If this is a low and then this is a higher low, it may attempt to come down here, break out from this level and retest this level as a new low, higher low, okay. If it does, then I think SUNVIEW has actually reversed its trend, okay. AEMULUS, I think the last person asked me to review this chart. I did mention that it seems that it's going to reverse the trend, especially with the high volumes over here, which is what already happened. So if you see, it formed a bottom over here and started rebounding, okay, until now here. It looks more like it's attempting to form a new support, a higher base lah, okay, at least about this zone, because this was also the previous breakout level lah, okay. If you look at the volume pattern, I think the breakout was quite good, followed by quite low selling volumes lah, okay. Generally looks quite constructive for AEMULUS. Construction counter, it's hard to say that it's forming a cup and handle because it doesn't really hit the point of resistance. It will look something like this lah. But you can consider it as a cup and handle forming lah, okay. Continue to monitor and see whether 3.7 is able to break or not. Okay, if it's able to break, then you will see a breakout pattern lah. If it's not, then most likely you will see another pullback happening. Okay, because the volume here is actually quite high. Okay, you see it hitting at 3.7 and then coming back down. Actually, the volume is quite high lah over here. Okay, so you can see that at this part it kind of absorbed a lot of sellers. Yep. Okay, this is a very heavy volume selling lah. Okay, so it actually absorbed quite a lot of sellers at about 3.7, then it came back down, and yeah, I think you will need to give some time lah. Okay, it must break out from this level lah, 37. LIIHEN, I think LIIHEN is still sideways. I need to give it some time before you see which side it's going to go to lah. Okay. MN holding is a continuing uptrend. Okay, quite solid the uptrend. Okay. I think MN holding got some news on. I can't remember what was it. Okay. Is it this PP or I'm not sure lah. Okay, but it's still going up. This candle is a bit scary. Very high volume selling. Then you see next day it comes back down. The worrying part of this entire area, besides the Thursday and Friday candle, is the fact that there's a lot of upper wick lah. So there may be a lot of sellers about that. But currently it's still in an uptrend lah. Okay. Yeah, the base will be about here lah, 535, which coincides with almost a 50 days moving average lah. Okay. Next is SCOMNET. SCOMNET has a very high volume on Friday lah. Okay, besides that, SCOMNET is going nowhere. Okay, despite the high volume coming in, you see the candle is a bit of there's a bit of indecision lah. That means they don't know whether want to continue going higher or continue going sideways or lower. So I think you need to give the stock some time to see which side it decides to move to lah. Okay. DUOPHARMA. I think generally it's still sideways. It just broke out from this level. Then I think this may be a kind of a washout testing a candle lah. Okay, so it actually came back down and it's slowly going back up. See whether this becomes a new base or not. 1.23. If it does, then yes, I think it has turned its trend from downtrend to uptrend. If it's not, then I don't think. I think it will just come back down. But generally it looks quite constructive already lah. Okay, look at this. Generally it's quite constructive already. Okay, so just need to wait and see whether it's just going to bounce back from trend line or not lah. Okay, 50 days is also crossing above, which is actually a good sign lah, turning uptrend. Icon, wow. Oh, share consolidation. Yeah, there was a shares consolidation here, and then not bad, quite interesting the chart. I think Icon looks quite good after its share consolidation, but I believe he's going to pull back soon lah. Okay, because if you look on the weekly chart, it has been having green candle for the past 5 weeks. Very bound to pull back lah. Okay, and after a pullback, I think it will come to about its quarter report time. Then you will see lah whether it's a bullish. It will continue its bullish momentum or not, because it has been sideways for a very long time. Okay. Spring. I will skip spring because I really have no comment. I think it's just really sideways lah. The volume just came in one day and it just vanished. Okay. SSB8, another one I think I will just skip. It's pretty much just sideways. I don't really see anything around here. Okay. IJM, construction counters are generally quite active recently. Okay, on the prospect of a country's economy. I think it will be good to monitor construction counters, but the recent surge in volume is a bit scary lah. Okay, you see IGM has been quiet for so long, and all of a sudden the buying and selling volume is quite high. There's no favorable R to R ratio over here. Okay, you will need for the stock to come and do a pullback first lah. Okay, so yeah, the volume is quite enormous lah. Okay, about more than 20 million recently. ECOWLD, same property and construction counters. Wicks have been quite dominant recently here. Okay, but it's still uptrend lah. ECOWLD. Okay, 50, 150, and 200 days moving averages are intact. Of course, this breakout was really good. You can see it broke out from this level of 1.06. The volume here has been quite dry as well lah. Okay, so for me, I think the breakout was quite constructive. Now it depends on the pullback lah. This pullback is a bit too sharp. Okay, usually V-shaped rebounds don't last very long. Usually lah, I've seen some last really long. Other than that, usually it's supposed to form a cup or a flat base lah. Okay, so for ECOWLD, I think your support will be about this zone to this zone. Okay, because you can see it's like move up then come back down a bit, so this zone over here, and your resistance will be about quite big lah for me. Okay, will be this entire zone. Okay, ARMADA, I think generally oil and gas counters, Uzwa looks better, Dayang looks better. Okay, I think lah. Okay, for me, ARMADA's candle on Friday is not nice to see. That means there's a very heavy resistance over at 565. That some high volume came, push it through, and still came back down. Okay, so for me, it doesn't look very good. Support and resistance is the same, but you need to see whether the chart is able to break out or not lah. Okay, MYEG. Like I always mention about MYEG never goes anywhere far. Okay, it just hits this resistance level and then continues to consolidate. And unless it can finish consolidating about here, I don't think there's anything to see yet lah. Okay. I have no comments for EDARAN. I don't know how to review a chart like this. As the gap up here, then comes down, then wait until another gap up. I will skip this also. Okay. SFPTECH generally looks still sideways lah. Okay, it's quite obvious that it's sideways. You can see it over here. Okay, really moves in a box kind of thing lah, sequence. So I don't think there's much to see for SFPTECH until it firmly breaks out lah. Okay. I think the person requested this. I think you mentioned MERSEC. I don't think there's a MERSEC, so I think it's MERSEC lah. Okay. MERSEC followed the other counters to limit down the other day. Quite scary, honestly. On a daily chart, I don't think it's favorable. And this candle is quite scary lah. Okay. But if you look at it on a 1 hour chart, these are usually for people who want to do a short trade lah. Okay. It's still not very favorable. Okay, I don't think MERSEC is good yet. I think it needs some time. The only plus point is over the past 2 days, MERSEC's volume has been quite thin lah. Okay, so maybe there are not much sellers anymore. I don't know. Okay, so good to monitor. GOCEAN, I think again shares consolidation. After that, it shot up. This may be the new base 1.145. Okay, it may form this base before it attempts to continue going higher lah. Okay. Okay. If this base is valid, then most likely it's going to rebound. But you need to take note that if it doesn't form a flat base, how to say? That means you need to have something like this then break out. Okay, so you have resistance over here and you have support over here. So there is like a very constructive pattern. If you have a pattern like this, okay, like this, then it's not constructive lah. It's a V shape lah. Okay, so it's going to be a bit difficult unless it forms something like this sorry, like this. Then it breaks out from this level, then it will be constructive lah. Okay. RENEUCO supposed to have quite strong momentum over here after the breakout. Okay, then it consolidated about here, looked quite good, but I think since the counters limit down and everything, RENEUCO kind of followed. Because it didn't limit down, I don't think there's much to limit down at 16 cents. Sorry, at 20 cents. I think it's kind of forming a new lower base lah. Okay, but I studied RENEUCO's chart before actually. Every time it forms a new low, it kind of rallies up. Okay, so if we see over here, okay, it rallied up, then came back down, formed a new low, and then it rallied from the low to the high of about 80%. Then next again, it formed a low over here, it formed a base, then came low over here, then wash out I think over here. Then from the washout it went up to about 44%, and then it came back down to about here, formed a new low around here. Okay, came back up, rallied, then 50%. I don't know whether it will be the same or not. This is just a pattern recognition. Okay, yeah, that's RENEUCO lah. But generally, I don't think it's going anywhere lah. It looks really just kind of downtrend, and quarter report is coming out soon lah. Okay. Okay, INFOTEC, I don't think it's good. Like I mentioned, the buying candles here, the volume is a bit suspicious lah. Okay, generally I don't think INFOTEC is good at the moment. The chart, it looks quite fishy. And the last one is JETSON. Yeah, JETSON went up very nicely over here, and since then has been sideways lah. Okay, volume has been quite dry. Now it depends whether there is any more stimulus to push it up or not. Okay, if not, then I think it will just continue sideways. Okay, so that'll be all for this week's chart review. As usual, this entire video is for educational purpose only, and there is no buy or sell call involved here lah. Okay, so if you require a buy or sell call, please look for your licensed remiser or your licensed financial advisor lah. Okay, the entire video is just for educational purpose. So that'll be all for this week's chart review, and I'll see you again next time. Okay, thank you, bye bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.